The first 3 videos in this series have been about creating a simple music idea. In this 4th and final video, we're going to take that simple music idea and use a number of different tools to turn it into a full production track for a number of different applications. Let's get things started by moving all of our tracks into one folder track. Right mouse click on the bottom right hand corner of the production folder and drag out to the right hand side to copy the loop. This gives us 32 bars of all the instruments looped and playing continuously. There's too much going on. So let's use the mute tool to start dynamically building our track. Let's ruthlessly start cutting into different instruments, so when they appear in the track, they have maximum impact. Every part needs its own place in the mix. We can place instruments in a stereo field, so from left to center to right, and also in a frequency spectrum, so from high end to low end, to paint a large sonic picture. Automation is a very effective way of being able to accurately draw in dynamic changes. Our second and third guitar part are about to enter, and you'll be able to hear it clearly. There it is. And the bass. I'm boosting the high-end frequencies on my pad track to add a sense of atmosphere and some air over the top of my mix. You don't always have to use EQs. Every instrument inside of Cubase has its own filters. In much the same way as we were muting tracks before, now we're muting frequencies. There are also some really creative filters that we can use as effects inserts over the top of tracks. The morph filter is a great example. Pick up on the circle in the middle and move it around to graphically start introducing filters over your tracks. Use Quadrifuzz 2 to add distorted warmth and width over multiband frequencies. There's a neat spectrum analyzer in the EQ section so you can see exactly what's going on with your track. We've already discussed using channel strip presets to further develop the tone of each individual track. Once we're happy that every instrument and track is fitting into our large sonic picture, we can introduce the arranger track to take our project in a completely different direction. Add the arranger track into the project. Select the pencil tool and start drawing musical zones or arranger events into the project. Now these segments should reflect the musical building blocks we were working on earlier, so my first section's an intro, so it will have less instrumentation than say section C or section D. As I add sections, they appear over to the left hand side or in the inspector. Segments can be triggered by clicking on them with a mouse. We can also specify when it will change from segment to segment. With the touch of a button, we can move freely between any point in our project. The arranger track makes it ridiculously easy to build the perfect track. We can incorporate VST instruments into live performances and create entire sets, which is still flexible, because we can move freely in between our project at any time. But that's only the first part of the arranger track. We can manually select the order we want the arranger track to play in just by dragging segments up into the arranger chain. Specify how many times you want your events to be repeated. Your project automatically follows the arranger chain. It's still flexible. You can still change it on the go. Prepare for any live or studio production scenario by creating multiple arranger chains. We can shorten songs and create really quick radio edits. Have different versions for music production and advertising clients. And a flexible backbone for live performance. But here's where it gets really cool. Once you find an order that works for you, you can reorganize your whole entire Cubase project to reflect that order. So in 20 to 25 minutes, we've created a very simple musical idea and turned it into a production track. Hopefully we've inspired you and given you some creative ideas, so from the moment you sit in front of the software, you're being creative. Thanks for taking the time to stop by my creative space. I'll catch you soon.